Hi, my name is Nancy. Welcome to my channel, Running with Scissors. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the very first make I made with the very first spin on my fabric wheel of fate. If that sounds interesting to you, don't go away. Well, if you watched last week, I spun my wheel that I did on my computer, and this is the fabric that was chosen. It's this fabric that kind of looks like raindrops. And if you notice, I have a whole bunch of it. I got this at an estate sale and there was a whole bolt of it. Well, when I showed you last week the 10 fabrics that I had chosen to put on the wheel, I chose a pattern for each one that I thought might work. But remember I said if it doesn't work or I change my mind, I have that option. Well, I originally had thought I would use New Look 6446, the pattern here with a little checked, or the view with a little check. And so after the fabric was chosen, I went through my patterns to see if this is one I really wanted to use. And I came up with this other one that I thought might be better. And it's a Simplicity 8914, and it's the view that the model is wearing. And I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I changed my mind. This came out so nice. I am just pleased with how this dress came out. I'm going to show it to you on my dress form first to talk about it, and then I will put it on and let you see me wearing it. And plus I have some pictures and video as well. So stay tuned. And here's the dress. I really like the way it came out. I'm glad I changed my mind about which pattern to use. When I was looking at the pattern, I noticed that the model on the front, she had horizontal stripes. And this is a striped fabric because in the pattern, she has horizontal stripes on the left bodice. So I thought I should do that. I had cut out part of it, but I hadn't cut out the bodice yet. So I repositioned the left bodice so the stripes would be horizontal and the rest of it would be vertical. In fact, if you look at the back, you'll see that we have vertical going across the yoke. And there's also a nice little pleat right there in the back. And then, originally I was going to do the view with the side seam pockets because sometimes the patch pockets can be a little tricky. You have to measure and get them just right. But when I decided I should do the left bodice with a horizontal, I thought, well, I probably should go ahead and do the pockets the same way. So I went ahead and cut out patch pockets so they would be horizontal as well. Now, the waist is elasticated, which I really like a lot. It was pretty simple to do. Also, too, when I looked at the pattern, I thought, is that a faux placket? Because sometimes you see patterns that have a false placket and the buttons are just there for decorations. It's not false. Remember when I showed you the back of it, there was no zipper or any way to get into the dress. So these are real buttons and they actually do unbutton for you to get into the dress. Also, the pattern called for a 1/2 inch single fold bias tape. I didn't have that. You could make double fold bias tape work just as well, and that's what I did, and it just worked just fine. In fact, when I was working on this, it was a Sunday. Hobby Lobby is not open on Sunday. It's only a couple miles from my house. And I didn't want to go all the way to Joann's. It was a little further away. So I went over to Walmart. They don't have a big selection, and they had no single fold bias tape. They only had double fold. So I just made the double fold work, and it works just fine. So I just love the way it came out. I think it came out really nice. When I first did the elastic, I measured and I ran it through and it just kind of hung there. Because you want it to kind of, well, you can't really tell here until I put it on that it kind of blouses up, but it wasn't tight enough. So I took it off and I pulled on the elastic, and I pulled quite a bit, probably this much, until it started gathering more. Then I pinned it, and then I tried it on again, and it was just the right amount. You don't want it too tight to be uncomfortable, but you want it tight enough that it gathers, and also you can make it look a little blousy. Now, the pattern does come with a fabric tie that you can use, and I had a fabric tie from another dress, and I tried it on just to see how it might look, and I really like it without it, so I didn't make the tie. So, also, let me tell you about the sleeves. I made the left sleeve a little bit bigger in diameter than the right. 20 years ago, I had breast surgery and had 10 lymph nodes taken out of my left arm. I never really had an issue with lymphedema or swelling of my arm all this time because I was really careful about no blood draws, blood pressure, that kind of thing, IVs. But I had a complete shoulder replacement in September 22, and I knew good and well when I had that kind of trauma to my arm, it would probably mess up my lymph system, and it did. So it is there's about an inch difference. So what I did was I went ahead and made the right sleeve and used the usual seam allowance and pulled it on. Then I pulled it on my left arm to kind of see how it fit, and it was a little bit snug, but not too tight. So when I made the left sleeve, I just made a little bit smaller seam allowance to give it a little more room, and that really, I think, made the difference. So I have to do that. So anyway, also too, I added an inch to the length. I'm 5'8", and a lot of these patterns are made for 5'5", 5'6" inch women. And so I'm glad I did that. I wanted the dress to be about at my knee. And I know if I had not added that extra inch, it would have been too short. So I'm glad I did that. So I thought for my very first spin on the fabric Wheel of Fate, I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. So I'm going to pop up I'm actually going to go try it on for you. And then I'm going to pop up some pictures and a video that I took beforehand of me wearing the dress so you can see how it looks on me. And I'm going to tell you, I definitely 100% recommend this pattern, the Simplicity 8914. It's not a hard pattern. It goes together really nice and easy. You can make it sleeveless. You can make it long. You can make it shorter, sleeveless. Also, too, if you notice, the sleeves on the model are a little shorter. I made the longer sleeves on that view. I like a little longer sleeve than the shorter sleeve. So you can make a little longer or you can make them shorter. You can make, this one has side seam pockets, or you can make the patch pockets. So there's quite a bit of variety on this same pattern. And if you do a striped version, you could do what you did here. And I thought that really was pretty. I like it. It was very different. And the buttons, I found these buttons at Walmart. They don't have a big selection. And I remember when I was looking at buttons, be sure they're washable. I found some buttons I kind of liked, and I turned it over to see what the size was, and it said unwashable. Well, why would you want buttons that were unwashable? I'm not going to take my things to the dry cleaners. So when I found these, I turned it over to check the size, and it said washable. So make sure your buttons are washable. I really like them. Also, too, I put my buttons on with my sewing machine. I think that's fun. Now, the last thing I made had a shank button. Of course, you have to do that by hand because you can't do that with your sewing machine. Interesting. I'm going to tell on myself. I put the foot on. That's just for putting on your buttons on. And I did remember to turn off the feed dogs. You got to do that. But I had it all in place. I had everything marked, and I always do the hand crank, the hand wheel to make sure it's going to go in the hole, and it wasn't working right. And I thought, what's wrong? I don't understand something's not right. So if all else fails, you get out your manual, and I had the foot on backwards. I had the front to the back and the back to the front. So I took it off, flipped it around, and lo and behold, it works just great when you put the foot on correctly. So, but I do like putting them on that way. It's just so much quicker than hand sewing your buttons on. And the buttonholes came out really nice too. But I thought it came out really nice. And I'm really pleased for my first make. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dress on to show you. And then I will pop up some pictures and the video of me in the dress. And as I said, I really highly recommend this pattern. It's an easy dress. And also, too, let me tell you what they recommend. Chambray, cotton types, and this is definitely a cotton type. Gingham, lightweight denim. Now, wouldn't that look pretty in a lightweight denim? I think that'd be cool. Shirtings. So those are the type of fabrics you'd use for this. And a lightweight denim, boy, I think that would look really sharp. So anyway, give me just a moment. I'll put the dress on for you and you can see how it looks. All right, here's the dress. I really, really like it. I wasn't sure what to do with this fabric when I first bought it at the estate sale. You know, you get what you get, and when I saw the big bolt of it, I thought, surely I can do something with it. This dress came out so nice. I love the buttons, the pockets. There's the back. I do like the waist. You can kind of blouse it up a little bit if you want to. As I said, you can use a belt on it if you like, but I kind of like it the way it is. So I think it came out really nice. And as I said, I do have a couple pictures and a video that my sister took of me wearing it. But you know what's next? I have to spin the wheel again to see what's next. Now I have a list. Right here I listed my 10 fabrics on this sheet of paper. Number 3 is crossed off because this was the number 3 fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wheel ready. We're going to spin it and we're going to see what's next. I'm actually kind of excited to see what it is. This is fun. Carol said it was fun. And I do want to give a shout out to Carol from So Carol. She came up with this great idea. And it was fun watching her. But I tell you what, it's even more fun doing it. And if you want to try this yourself, I'm doing it with a wheel I found on the internet. She has a little spinner that her dad made her that she just spins by hand. There's different ways of doing it. So, I mean, just try it. And sometimes, oh, I was thinking also too, if you didn't have any of that, you could just put numbers on a piece of paper and draw them out of a hat after you've numbered your fabric. So there's all different ways of choosing the fabric. But this is a lot of fun. It really is. It's kind of suspenseful too. So hold on. I'm going to get the wheel ready to go. We're going to spin it and see what's next. All right, here's the wheel I'm using. Now, I took out the number 3 because the number 3 is what we chose last week. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 4 all the way down to 10. So right now they're in order. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them so they're not in order. Now let's go ahead and see what we get. Here we go. Number 8, we have a winner, number 8. Now I need to get my paper and we're going to see what number 8 is and what I have to sew next week. Hang in there and I'll be right back. I am so excited. It landed on number 8, which is the red linen floral. This is fabric I've had in my stash for a while, and this is the fabric. It's like a linen blend. And I'd already picked out the pattern for this. I mean, I may look and see if I like anything better, but I really like this pattern. Probably going to stick with it. It's a new look, 6651, and it's another elasticated waist. I do like those. And it's the one the model is wearing. I had thought about doing it with no sleeves, sleeveless, but I think I'm just going to do the sleeves just like the model. And that's what I had actually, I'd had this pulled out for the longest time and just hadn't got around to sewing it up. And so I think it'd be so pretty. I probably won't make it as long as her dress because I like my dresses around knee length. So I probably won't have it quite that long. But don't you think that this fabric will look so pretty It'll be nice and flowy. It'll be comfortable for summer. So I'm pretty excited about this, that it landed on number 8. And I promise you, I didn't cheat. I didn't do it like 2 or 3 times until it landed on the one I wanted. That was the one and only time I did it, and that's the one that came up. So I'm pretty excited about that. So this is what I'm going to do. I plan on making these reveal videos separately. One reason I'm going to do it is this may take a little more time to do. I'm not sure. I've never made it before. And I don't want to say, oh, I got to get these done by Friday every week, because, you know, I like to take my time, make sure I do it right. And if I have any, you know, complications or problems, I don't want to be rushing it. So when I get one done for my wheel, then that's when I will post it. And then I will do something else on Friday Sews. So, oh, I also don't think I mentioned, I'm hoping to try to do patterns I've never done before. Now, obviously, if something comes up on one of the fabrics that I don't really have anything that might work for it, and it's something I have sewn before, I may have to resort to that. But my goal is to sew patterns I've never sewn before. I mean, I have all these patterns in my stash. I need to sew them. And so that's my goal, is I'm going to use the fabric that I have on my wheel. I'm going to pair it with a pattern that I've never sewn before, and that way I can tell you whether I like the pattern, when I sew it again, and would I recommend it to you. So this is what's coming up next on my next fabric Wheel of Fate. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I think it's so much fun, and I will see you next time. I appreciate you watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love it if you would. Hit the notification bell so that I can upload the video and you'll know when I do it. So, well, I'm happy you were here with me. You take care. God bless. Goodbye.